sure whether Honorable Kronje have pronounced my name or not, but if she didn't, that's fine. We know each other, with most of you by now. Yeah, because we live in one house, one country, isn't it? Yes. I'm here just to introduce myself to you. After my appointment as the new minister of this very easy ministry, but very important indeed, because it's the ministry that can change the chapter of our economy if all of us put all the efforts together as a combined and ensure that our natural resources, our sun, our soil, give us what we deserve, of course, through our efforts, because sun and soil cannot deliver the required results if there are no human beings to drive a certain strategy with an objective of improving the livelihood of our people. But good morning to you all once more. Now, I'm very pleased to speak to you representing different units and departments. This is one of the ministries, I'm informed, that has lots of units, lots of experts. But of course, when I received the responsibility to head this ministry, I said, no, it's a very good thing if we have lots of units, lots of departments, because challenges create opportunities. It means we have lots of opportunities within this ministry, and I will highlight some of them. My intention today is not to make any presentation or to ask you to make any presentation about your department or unit. I simply believe that I can't come in a ministry and yet I'm not known by my own staff members. So it's good we meet. I also tell you what I expect from you. And when at an appropriate time we engage further, you also tell me what you expect from me. Because like I say, it is a combined effort. I don't believe in individuals driving an agenda in isolation, because, my friend, you won't achieve. They always say if you want to go far, go as a collective. If you want to arrive fast, but of course temporarily, go alone. I don't want to go alone. Because I want us one day, when we leave this ministry, we must leave this ministry and prepare it for the next generation with something that anybody can remember us for. Of course, I don't want us to be remembered for failing to deliver. We must rather be remembered for having delivered what the Namibian people expect all of us to deliver. Now, I like saying, when you have a responsibility as an individual, just think about how many other people are out there praying every day to have an opportunity like yours, to be appointed perhaps where you are, or maybe at a similar position. But you were lucky. God just said, you, Maria, get this opportunity. Save the people of Namibia. Now, I always think we mustn't betray that trust. If you are there, just count what did I do today from 8 to 5? what did I do this week that satisfy myself that I have indeed delivered to the expectations, and I like saying, of the Namibian people? Because that will not be my expectation as the minister of this ministry. That is what everybody expects us to deliver collectively. Now, this collective delivery depends on our combined effort, like I say. What did I do as Modestus today, up to past 9? And what will I do from here to ensure that the mandate of this ministry is addressed by our actions? Now let me address certain issues. After having introduced myself, Modestus Amutse is my name. Some people also call me Chitumbe Shamtse, and I'm Chitumbe Shamtse indeed. Now Chitumbe Shamtse is very humble, but Chitumbe Shamtse is also tricky, because you can smile with him very nice now, and the next moment he's again, taking you to task. And the good of Chitumbe Shamtse is a fellow of the Southern African and Eastern African Institute of Chartered Governance. Now in governance, you don't need to be angry to have deliverables. You don't have to be harsh to achieve. I don't believe in that. You just have to do the right thing every time to achieve. And therefore, you won't expect me to be behind the ED every time, or deputy minister, for us to achieve. Maybe we will collaborate. Maybe we will talk. Maybe we will sit together and plan together. But not to be harsh for you to deliver. So, when I accepted this responsibility, I was given a clear task. What is expected of me by Her Excellency the President. The marching order was very clear. But of course it wasn't strange to me, because I know our country, I know our ministries, I know them as an institution when it comes to electricity supply. Both security of electricity, the reliability of it, the availability of it, but also the cost of it. Because if we continue to import a larger percentage of electricity, energy, then of course it will become expensive, because we don't control it. The supplier controls the price, isn't it? But I don't understand what is preventing us from increasing our efforts on energy generation. Sometimes it's policies, but these policies did not fall from heaven. They are made by ourselves. Why should we make policies that do not address the needs of our people? And we still think that, yes, because it's policy, this law, I always call them bad laws then, if they do not address the reality of what we are facing. And therefore, this one, the development of a national strategy on energy supply security, is very, very high on our agenda as a ministry. And those in this sector must already start investigating what they have, what we have, with the purpose of looking at where we can improve. I know many companies are eager to venture into this sector. But what is The problem is our effectiveness and our efficiency to accommodate various initiatives to ease the burden of electricity generation or supply. We must address those ones. Because why is it easy to do it outside Africa? You see? In fact, when they identify a need, that they will plan on it probably within a week they are done. Next week they start with the project. Here, in each office, probably if you go there, those who are tasked with this responsibility, maybe, I'm not sure, but I think there are lots of files there in your offices. Some of them maybe came in even before, maybe last year even. But the need is still there for electricity. And we are still proud that we are doing the best. No, personally, I think this is an area where we have to start improving. Advise the Honorable Minister. Anyway, advise Chitumbe Chamtse, because this word honorable also. Personally, that's why I'm all right when you say, Chitumbe Chamtse, we have to improve on this one. Let's come up with initiatives. And then we have also to, of course, talking about energy, increase the renewable energy mix. The other time I was asking somebody, what is preventing us from establishing or cause for the establishment of facilities that can source energy from our rich sun, maybe a combination of solar and modular that can produce green energy at the end of the day. And somebody was also talking about white hydrogen, which is very effective in today's, it's actually in high demand. But I think that one, the key is with us to open it or to close it. Those are some of the areas we have to look at and open up, but of course with due diligence. Because if we are not careful as well, we may actually compromise the country. So that's why due diligence is ever required in whatever we do, especially in the sector of mining, whether it's oil, whether it's gas, whether it's green hydrogen or white hydrogen. We must exercise this cautious actions. Now, I also want to address the implementation of the EPL. I've talked about EPLs a lot. I've talked about mineral beneficiation. Yeah, we must compel probably these mining sectors also. We must come up with a way. The way to compel these miners, people in the mining sectors, or institutions, or persons in the mining sector, to have sort of tangible corporate social responsibility that benefit our people. Because you have a very big mine somewhere there. And you were boasting of probably having made what profit. But of course, they are also clever. Sometimes they don't declare profit because they don't want to pay what they ought to pay, knowing that there are gray areas somewhere there, which we need to tighten in order, to derive at what they really produce and what their true losses are, so that we know what they have to pay at the end of the day to the government coffers. I know that area, but you see, they are saying, no, we are here, we are progressing. When they report and post for photos. But people in those areas do not have a decent road. Their school is dilapidated. They are waiting for government to go and do everything. But yet, there are people where they come from, because most of these mines are owned by people who are not from Namibia. I'm not against them. But I'm saying the people from where they originate, the owners of those mines, live much better from our mineral resources than ourselves. And that cannot be good. So that's where we have to compel them to assist those communities, those facilities. That's what other countries do. And if the investors are willing to do it in those countries, why not in Namibia? Unless if we don't force them to do it. And personally, with you, I don't fear to face them on our behalf. But don't forget that I say we move together. If I go there to face them, it means it's all of us facing them, isn't it? As a collective. Yes, we have to face them. We have to talk to them. And they have to comply. To revive the Minerals Development Fund, to provide financial support to small-scale miners, claims holders, and exclusive prospecting license holders. I was just talking about something in this area. These people have even started buying equipment themselves for small miners. You think a person will buy, a buyer, the person who's buying the commodity, the minerals, is the one buying equipment and say, yes, take, go and dig more and more, Don't you see a gray area somewhere there? There is. But also, they are taking our space. We were supposed to be the number one to assist these people. But your question would be, where will the money come from? They are coming from the processes that I was just explaining to you. But if we continue not to derive enough funds, enough revenue from our mining exercises, then of course our budget will continue to be lean. Because it's supposed to be empowered by revenues collected from these exercises of mining and so on. But if not, if you are not doing enough, we will continuously not have enough also to support our small miners, the EPL holders. This is not a good scenario. We have to change that scenario. So I have just highlighted some of the areas of my focus as your new minister, where we have to work around together. Like I say, I know we have different units, each unit with its own responsibilities. We have policies. Some of the policies are so archaic that they are the one hindering our progress. It's our duty collectively to look into those either provisions or just the policy in general and propose changes, amendments, or even completely review them, replace them, or even put them in the dustbin after having replaced them with the new ones that are talking to the reality. We shouldn't, our work, our progress mustn't be blocked by an ineffective policy. Because it's equally our work to make recommendations about policies that are sort of no longer relevant to address our needs as a nation. So through ED, starting next week, we'll start the exercise of presentations, for my understanding, just to know what my dear sister's department do and how we are implementing our projects. But please, when you present to me, don't only put figures and statements, because I will go there at the site, if it's a site, and verify. I have gone through these experiences already, and I can tell you truly that there were times that I was about to sign a document authorizing that would have resulted in the payment of a lot of money to a company for work performed. But you see, my memory told me that I think I'm doubting this sort of exercise and process. And I demanded verification immediately, including myself participating in that verification process. It was the construction of an earth dam, which is apparently so beautiful, so modern, so large. And on our way there, the engineer got sick and booked off, because the dam never existed. I also remember another project of a road. You see, there were certain advance payments made because this contractor is so effective, is so fast, is so reliable. And I said, okay, I like it, but I always want to know and see my projects, the projects of an institution that I'm leading, because I want to be proud. But when I narrate this pride, I must be sure. We arrived there was actually no road. and also that was the last scene of that engineer. He was an engineer attached to us from another country. And the next moment I heard he left the country as well. I don't know whether he does come to visit now or he's just there permanently, but that was the last. He probably realized what the next action would be. So I wouldn't want you to bring me documents to sign that contain incorrect information or deceiving information. We must be ethical and loyal to our country. So we must do what is correct. That's why I'm not rich. But I have served in different political positions for the last 20 years. It's because if I don't believe, even if you are my friend, if I don't believe that you are correct, I will not go with you. I will actually disappoint you. And don't get deceived by me talking to someone who's in the industry. Sometimes I also know where to get information from. I will engage them. If my brother is a miner somewhere and he say, please, honorable, can you visit us? Or I want to see you. I would say, come. Now, that doesn't interpret into corruption, because I have to get information, primary information. It's very important. What is important is what you do with that information. That's the most important thing. Now you have triple Ps, and, Sometimes we also miss the area of security, national security. Where is this money coming from? What is the purpose of this country or this organization pumping so much money in this sector through this representative in Namibia? Now, is Modestus standing here with 200 million, but where did Modestus get the 200 million from? So as much as we need energy, as much as we need mineral beneficiation activities, we must also do due diligence in our exercises so that we don't compromise the security of our country. Because mines is where the ministry which we are heading, in which we are operating in, can actually compromise a lot in our country if we who are the drivers are not careful. Now, I don't want to keep you here for the whole day, but I have preached enough. I preach enough, and I'm not a scientist. I come from the background of cattle herding. Now, the cattle herders normally believe in practical things, practice. What I see now is to translate what I have talked about into practical realities. That is the assignment I will leave you with. That today it's just a statement. Statements made by Amutse. But tomorrow I will make follow-ups to see how far are you with those statements. Because we have definitely to act on those key areas that I have mentioned. There are lots, but I have select few just to show to all of us that there are some gray areas, and more importantly, there are expectations from the public for us to address those key areas. And it's not wrong if the people demand. It's correct, because we are representing their interest in the mining sector and so on, in the industries and so on. We must industrialization, our market demand is very low, and so on and so on. But what we are using here, we also not produced here, isn't it? We imported them because other people produce to export. Why don't we also understand it that way? That we may not be the only consumers with the Africa Free Trade Area. We must prepare our people, isn't it? Because we can't talk about Africa Free Trade Area when our people are not well prepared to participate. And who should assist them? It's us. It's us. So from here, let's go and evaluate ourselves, especially our sectors. When I say ourselves, I'm not referring to us as individuals, but our sectors. And come up with, good programs. Impressed me with those good programs. Let's impress the Namibian people, but also let's impress the world that indeed this ministry is great. It's an achieving ministry. I see my brother there I can read from his face, is promising that when we report in the first quarter as a ministry, we will change public perception over this ministry. I want to believe that that's also your belief. Or do you believe differently? Or you say it's impossible? Is it impossible? Yeah, if you say it's impossible, and you were probably the one to lead the liberation of this country, you would have not started at all. Because you would think fighting a strong regime such as of that of South Africa would be an impossibility. Yeah, an impossible area to enter. But the courage and the will to succeed is always the strong weapon that we have. With this, I want to thank you very much for your time. I'm definitely asking for your support, because you are the one to make me succeed or to fail me. So, I want us to succeed together. Thank you very much.
Okay, another round of applause. Thank you, Comrade Minister. Please, let's be seated. We have come to the end of the introduction. Minister, you have spoken with your staff. They have heard directly from you. I'm not going to repeat what you have said. Maybe suffice just to say, just to emphasize what you have spoken about in terms of unity, going together forward. And then most importantly, we are the people. There are not going to be other people coming. We, me and you, we have to make these things happen. Practical results, practical outcomes. Last week we attended the cabinet retreat. We were honored to attend the cabinet retreat together with the minister and the deputy minister. And the president emphasized something there. She spoke about outcomes, programs with the biggest possible reach and outcomes, practical impacts on the life of our people. And as the minister has said, we stress that outcomes, we are looking at that. Not long statements, long speeches, work that must be done, it has to be done. It has to be done correctly, and it has to be done timely with, actually, it's the way I understand this is that we are somehow late. This thing should have happened yesterday. That's the kind of pace that the aid administration is looking at. That is the assignment which the minister have received. It's the same assignment which the deputy minister have received. I have received the same assignment, and you have also received the same assignment. So now in that spirit, next week, the briefings will not take place on this week, on Thursday and Friday. There is an unfortunate event which has transpired. Honorable Minister have a case of somebody who have passed on, his mother-in-law. We commensurate with you, Comrade Minister, in regard to that. So the Minister will not be here. But on Monday and Tuesday, we will require that some of you, if not all of you, particularly the department heads and their support, have to extend their holiday time shuttles, come in next week, so that all the 9 directorates and departments, we are going to do the presentations to the Honorable Minister, so that he is already well equipped. When he goes on leave, he is already well equipped. He knows how the ministry is like and how it is operating. So just, we are asking for you, in the spirit of what we have said of the delivery which is required from us, extend your holiday time schedules with 2 more days. Come in next week, Monday and Tuesday, so that we can do the presentations. With that says, once again, thank you for coming. And as I have indicated at the beginning, it's a celebratory day. Minister have given leadership. He said very well, I'm not a boss. I'm not coming to boss you here, but I'm going to lead you. He has given the leadership that he has spoken about. We know more or less clearly what is expected from all of us. So as we now moved out, the Honorable Minister and the Deputy Minister will be here so that we can interact, greet him, say maybe a word or two. But please, be mindful of time. We have got meetings. So please, one person should not keep him hostage. And yeah. So yeah, thanks for reminding me. So we are going to say hello to him, but before we do that, let's just all come outside here at the foyer so that we can have a group picture with the minister and the deputy minister. And then after we can shake hands. Thank you very much.